Welcome to humanity. This is our life.
Whatever it takes, we got to say whatever it takes is what it took.
This is Brock Lesnar, and you're listening to FightNet Radio.
Hi, this is Manny Pacquiao. I'll fight anybody on FightNetRadio.com.
But it's a fact. You know what I mean? How dare them even challenge me, these fighters, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? With their primitive boxing skills, you know what I mean? They're as good as dead.
FightNet Radio. My name's Lee Hunter, joined by, coincidentally, a man from New York, a man with an Italian last name, a man who is not into waste management or union reps, but has worked as a in the sporting industry. I'm speaking of course, co-host Bobby Capucci's, special representative to the world of Las Vegas. How are you today, Bobby?
Hanging in there, enjoying a beautiful Sunday. Looking forward to talking to you guys.
Outstanding. And of course, as always, the writer, the man, the myth, the legend, Andrew Lapachet. How are you, Andrew?
Doing good, Lee. How's it going, you guys?
Andrew, what's up, buddy?
Everything's going. All right. So this was the pinnacle week. I have avoided talking about this topic, and I've decided to make it a show. Before I do that, quickly, Andrew, is there any other news besides this effing Malignaggi thing and everything we're about to discuss? Is there anything else going on in the world of boxing that I missed?
We'll discuss that at the end. I didn't even look anything up, Lee.
There isn't
you said
any,
it was going to be McGregor Mayweather.
Honestly, there isn't anything. That's how sure I am.
I'll try to find something, though, but that'll be for the end. I'll give that to you at the end.
Fair enough. All right. So for those of you who don't know, Bobby is our correspondent when I actually, every once in a great while, talk about anything grappling specific, because Bobby is that guy. He's also an avid hiker, but ladies, he's taken for all one of you who listens. Well, it's a male-dominated show. I accept that. All right, Bobby.
Hey, look. Before we start, Lee, honestly, look, if somebody can possibly put up with my nonsense for 2.5 years, you're going to tell me that Mayweather can't lose a fight? It's kind of difficult for me to believe that.
And you got her hiking. Was she a hiker before you found her?
No, I actually not. She's just really like an avid gym rat. I mean, she's in the gym 5:30 in the morning, and then she gets home, does whatever she has to do, and then heads to work, and rinse and repeat every single day.
Wow. That's hardcore. And I guess I can't really comment because I spend all my time on a mat, so it doesn't really make any sense either. So for those of you who don't know, let me give you a little background. Bobby is out in Las Vegas, and Bobby basically supports himself on the gaming industry of have you actually gotten yourself a real job yet, or are you still living vicariously off of betting?
I'm still living the Las Vegas dream, Lee, sliding through life, trying to figure out what's going on. I did the cubicle thing for a long time. I sat in that office at the Hard Rock in the sports book and pondered the mysteries of the universe and, all the stuff that cubicle warriors do. And then, one day I decided after I hurt my shoulder and realized I was getting old, I decided, you know what, it's time to take some chances in life. And I left all that corporate nonsense behind, started to get myself into shape to eventually tackle Mount Everest. And, like you said, I've been, existing on my feeble and little bit of sports knowledge that I've accrued throughout the years.
Outstanding. Outstanding description, Bobby. All right, so let's talk about this. Andrew and I have been talking about this off and on for several weeks, and I've avoided having this debate because in my mind, I guess the boxing side of FightNet Radio's long stance is there is no fucking way that a guy who has never boxed professionally is going to have any shot of beating the greatest defensive fighter of all time. Certainly not being able to go, they're going to go, even if it's 8-ounce gloves, even if it's 10 or 12 rounds, it's
12.
It's going to be 12. Well, and we don't even know if it's going to be.
Fight.
We don't know if it's going to be 8 or 10. Like the vote this week is kind of a big deal. But Bobby, you have blown us away with your. It's going to be Floyd. It's going to be Conor McGregor to the point where we're having a special show on the topic. We're fascinated with it.
We need your insight.
Look, I got to tell you guys. Look. It's conventional wisdom says that Floyd is going to walk into that ring and do whatever he wants. I mean, let's be honest. This is Floyd Mayweather we're talking about, a god amongst men, a man who's gotten into the ring with you name him and has completely dominated and done whatever he has wanted. Of course, people are going to think a guy who's never had a professional fight's going to get in there and get completely smoked. And look, don't get me wrong. It's probably that's the kind of thing that most people are going to think. And I definitely sound a little bit crazy for my mode of thought in this fight, but I'm going to explain why. And let me just give you a little bit of a reasoning why I think that there's an actual pathway to victory for Conor McGregor. There's another man who got into the ring with Floyd Mayweather who might be a boxer, but let's be honest, this guy's never really boxed around in his life, okay? This guy is a complete fighter, a scrapper who throws caution to the wind and fights like he's been bullied his whole life. We're talking about Marcus Maidana here, okay? That first fight, he came out through caution to the wind, and the first 4 or 5 rounds, Floyd didn't have an answer. As we know, though, Floyd adjusts and, Floyd does his thing. But the path to victory here for Conor McGregor, and I think he's really going to use this method better than anybody else has ever been able to do it. He's going to use a lot of clinch work against the ropes, and I think he's going to turn this into a really, really, really disgustingly dirty fight. Not as in fouling or cheap shots, but I mean dirty boxing against the ropes, wailing away, not letting Floyd get into a groove. He's going to have to get him quick. If this fight goes long, obviously there's no fighter, slugger in the world that's going to get into a 12-round fight with Floyd and be able to make adjustments on the fly like Floyd. We know that. We all know that. But my line of thinking here is, Floyd hasn't been active for 2 years. What's he been doing for those 2 years? Does he really want this fight? Does he really? The IRS, pounding down his door? I'm sure he could have found, other fights too. And he probably thinks this is an easy fight. There's no doubt. But I think the unorthodox style of Conor McGregor and the way he comes in with those looping MMA shots, the same kind of overhand right that Maidana threw and cracked Floyd with, I think that if Conor gets Floyd in trouble, that Conor has the kind of killer instinct and he just doesn't give a fuck. This kid doesn't care. He has nothing to lose. I think if he catches him, Conor will put him into a whole world of hurt. Now, I'm not saying that, this is a guaranteed fight and a guaranteed win, nothing like that. But there is a pathway to victory here. And if people don't see that there's a pathway to victory at least, then they're fooling themselves.
Andrew?
Well,
the
pathway to victory is a puncher's chance, is really what you're saying. He's not going to trap Floyd. He's not better than Floyd moving in the ring. He's not faster. His defense isn't better. There's so many disadvantages he has going into the ring. His only path is by, like you said, if he hurts him, then he has to jump all over him and stop him. But I cannot. It's how
does he hit? Okay, let's go with the basics. Bobby, how does he hit him? I mean, I get the whole put him in the corner and rough him up.
Corner him, yes.
Okay,
look.
Yeah,
Floyd likes to make his adjustments later on in the fight. He likes to wait people out 4 or 5 rounds to wait them out, and then he does his thing. I think that Conor's going to be able to jump on him early here, and if Conor jumps on him early here and rocks him the way that Floyd's been rocked in the past, but has been able to, be able to bounce back because he's that great of a fighter and he's, in that great of shape. I think that, but Conor's the kind of guy, if he hurts you like that, he's gonna finish you. I mean, take a look at what he did to Eddie Alvarez, and I know it's 2 different sports, different glove sizes, all that, but let's be honest here. This guy has a left hand it's pretty amazing, the power in this guy's left hand. And I am not a Conor McGregor fan.
I will say, I don't know why they haven't pumped up Conor McGregor's MMA record. 21 wins. What is it? 18 or 19 by knockout. I don't hear them. I don't hear them talking about that enough. That is a great puncher's chance. You know what I mean? And he is coming from a southpaw stance. This whole thing has just been blown out of because of the simple fact that he's getting into the boxing ring with Floyd Mayweather. I think if it was anybody else in boxing, McGregor's shot of winning would be a lot closer, and they would probably talk about his power a lot more. But once again, you got to go back to the paper of how many disadvantages he has going into this fight. I don't see one thing I don't think we're giving Floyd enough credit for is how good he is in the ring. I don't see this fight lasting too long, you guys. I really don't. I don't think McGregor's prepared for this mentally, and I don't think he's prepared physically. What I see of him on his videotapes, and I'm not knocking him. This has nothing to do with what it looks like. It's what he's actually doing in the ring. Remember, Lee, I talked about last week the movement, the bouncing, the unnecessary jumping.
Let's talk about the video. All right, let's talk about this video. Okay, Paul Malignaggi has gone way out on a limb saying, I got thrown down, I was tired, I didn't sleep. He did knock him down with a punch. I don't care what Paul said. Paul got beat.
It was a punch. There was a punch. Go ahead, Bobby. Sorry.
No, I watched a lot more of that tape than was released. I can't. I'm not going to burn my source or anything and say where I saw the tape or anything like that, because I only have a few sources left since I'm not really too active in the industry anymore. But
right.
I watched a lot of that tape.
Lee, we know that feeling, right?
Yeah, I know that feeling.
And he was hitting him with some snake like fast left hands, and Malignaggi was wearing it. And look, we all know that Malignaggi's my guy. I'm a big fan of Paulie Malignaggi. Us Italians, we got to stick together. There's very few of us that are doing anything that isn't in the sports business or
waste
garbage business,
right.
Allegedly. So I'm a big Paulie fan. So it was kind of tough watching him get starched like that. And let's not I'm not fooling myself, and I'm not trying to fool anybody else. Paulie and Floyd are on two different levels, but Paulie is a world-class fighter, and this is a guy that he knows what he's doing in the ring. He has good ring generalship, and the guy's a good boxer. But I watched a little bit more of that video than has been released, and I have to tell you, dude, I think Conor's playing a lot of things close to the vest here, and I have to go back to Maidana. His unorthodox style. He's not a boxer. This guy comes in flat-footed. He throws bombs. He's smoking cigarettes. He doesn't give a crap. This guy's a nut. He's kind of like they have the same mindset. I think Conor McGregor's in the mindset right now of, dude, I never thought I was going to be here. A few years ago, I'm on welfare, getting welfare from the English government, and now I'm driving Bentleys and having a chance to fight the greatest of all time. I think he's going in here with the same mindset of like a Rocky Balboa almost, of what the hell do I have to lose? Let's do this.
Yeah, and I think that makes him dangerous on some... Well, I kind of agree that on some level that makes him dangerous. Okay, have we... I know you've put the homework into this, Bobby. Who's training Conor out at the UFC facility?
Well,
his UFC trainer.
Yeah, it's a lot of his training's done with Kavanaugh and the same team he's been using for MMA. He hasn't really changed things up. You see, and I agree with that. A lot of people think I'm crazy for agreeing that, but let me explain for a minute. You're not going to get in a boxing ring and box Floyd. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you've been doing it since you were wearing short pants and watching, the Bernstein Bears. It's not going to happen. So just throw that out the window. Guys that have much better than Conor McGregor, technically and boxing have tried that, and where has that gotten them? Let's be honest here. You're not going to do that. So he's coming in with a whole different mindset. And I think, like I was saying earlier, I think he's going to utilize this clinch, and it's going to be a lot for Floyd. He's never really been in with somebody that can clinch like this. A boxing clinch and a tie clinch are two different things. But when he's on the inside like that, is Conor going to, jostle his head a little bit? Who knows what's going to happen in those dirty boxing, those exchanges in those dirty boxing positions.
So that
I don't know how much they're going to allow Conor to do that.
Well,
I think
that's
Conor's
going to go. That's what I was going to go for, Andrew. I mean, you bring in Joe Cortez, who's watching every minute of this to make sure that the rules are being. Now the Joe Cortez thing starts to look like a brilliant move. So
there's only one person that runs Las Vegas, though, Lee. That's Floyd Mayweather and what he generates, and I don't see a boxing match them allowing Conor to get away with that too much. And I got to go back to the fact that we're once again we're underestimating Floyd's right hand. We're underestimating his accuracy. We're underestimating the fact, is Conor even going to get close enough to Floyd to be able to do that? Some of the best in the boxing world. You keep bringing up Maidana, and I have to throw back at you. Maidana fought in the amateurs for Argentina, correct? Him and Lucas Batiste, I believe, came up in the amateurs together. I don't know how far he went in the amateurs, but this is not a guy who just picked up boxing one day and said, now his style was, like you say, a very aggressive style, but there's still technique behind it. There's still things you need to know to be at a disadvantage like Maidana was in most of all of his fights, but be able to win only 5 losses and about 36 total fights, with most of them